I am 106 years old. When people hear that number, they expect me to hand them a list of daily marathon habits or some ancient herbal remedy. They ask if I walk 10,000 steps a day. I do not. The truth is much colder and far less romantic. The secret to surviving a century with your dignity intact is not found in daily exhausting exercise. It is found in understanding the silent theft happening inside your own body every single night. Society has lied to you about what it means to age. They tell you to slow down, to eat less, to accept the heavy gravity pulling you deeper into your armchair. They call it the natural order of things. I call it a slow surrender. The real danger is not wrinkles or gray hair. The real danger is waking up one morning and realizing you cannot stand up from the toilet without pulling on the sink. It is the sudden, terrifying realization that your own home has become a prison. If you are tired of the polite lies about aging and want the raw truth about keeping your physical independence, I need you to walk this path with me. Subscribe to this channel right now and tell me your age and where you are watching from in the comments. We are in this fight against frailty together. Let me tell you about the exact moment the illusion shatters. It does not happen with a dramatic fall or a sudden diagnosis in a bright hospital room. It happens in the quiet of your own kitchen. For me, it was a sealed jar of preserve. I held it in my hands, hands that had built a life. Hands that had carried weight and solved problems for decades. I gripped the lid, twisted, and nothing happened. I tried again, pressing down, feeling the skin on my palm stretch, but there was no strength left in the grip. It was not pain, it was emptiness. The power was simply gone. That is the silent whisper of decline. We blame our joints. We blame arthritis, or simply say we are getting old, but the thief has a name, sarcopenia. It is the silent, ruthless decay of your muscle tissue. Year after year, starting long before you ever notice it, your body quietly strips away the armor that keeps you upright. You do not feel it leaving, you only notice the aftermath. You notice that the stairs seem steeper. You notice that getting out of the car requires you to swing your legs and use momentum instead of strength. You notice the hesitation before stepping off a curb. You start planning your movements based on what you can lean on. This is how independence dies, not in a hospital bed, but in the slow accumulation of things you can no longer do alone. You become a passenger in your own life, watching your autonomy slip through your fingers like dry sand, all while the world smiles and tells you it is just a part of getting older. Do not accept that lie. The tragedy is that we accelerate this decay ourselves, often thinking we are doing the right thing. Think about the advice you have been given for the last 40 years. Eat a light dinner, have a bowl of soup, maybe a single piece of toast, a small salad. They tell you that a slowing metabolism means you should eat like a bird before bed. It is the greatest trap ever laid for an aging body. When you eat that light, practically empty meal at 6 in the evening and sleep until 7 the next morning, you are forcing your body into a 13-hour fast. And what do you think your body consumes to survive that long night? It does not neatly burn away the fat around your waist. It eats your muscle. It breaks down the very fibers you need to stand up the next morning to harvest the amino acids it requires to keep your organs functioning. You are literally cannibalizing your own strength while you sleep. Every morning you wake up slightly weaker, slightly less capable, a fraction of a millimeter closer to that armchair you will one day be unable to leave. This is the reality of the light dinner trap. We starve our muscles at the exact moment they desperately need the raw materials to repair the damage of the day. Before I reveal exactly how to stop this nightly decay, I need you to do something important. Go to the pinned comment right below this video. There is a critical resource there, a guide I have made sure is available for you. It is the next step in taking back your physical autonomy. Read it after we finish here. You cannot afford to ignore it. The secret to reaching 106 with the ability to walk to my own mailbox and open my own jars is not found in a morning jog. It is found in the dark hours of the night. It is the nocturnal secret of reconstruction. Once I understood that my body was starving for structural support overnight, my entire routine changed. It is a single simple intervention. Before the long fast of sleep, you must give your body the slow digesting building blocks it requires, so it stops feeding on your legs and your back. We are talking about heavy, dense protein. Not the quick energy that spikes your blood sugar, but the kind of slow-release protein, like casein, that coats the stomach and drips a steady supply of amino acids into your bloodstream for hours. I began treating my evening routine not as a time to wind down and eat nothing, but as the critical window to armor my muscles against the night. You consume a dedicated source of this structural protein right before you lay your head on the pillow. It is not glamorous. It does not feel like a workout, but while you sleep, instead of tearing down the fibers in your thighs and shoulders, your body uses that fuel to rebuild. You are essentially turning off the decay switch. You stop the internal cannibalism. This one shift in how you treat the hours of darkness changes the entire trajectory of your physical decline. The result of this routine is not about looking younger. I look my age. My skin is thin and the years are written deeply on my face. This is not about vanity. It is about dignity. It is about the absolute non-negotiable right to dictate the terms of your own physical existence. When you stop the silent muscle drain, the world opens back up. You sit in a low, deep chair, and when it is time to leave, you do not need to ask your family for a hand. You plant your feet, you engage the muscles you have ruthlessly protected, and you stand up. You pull the heavy door open yourself. You carry the ceramic plate to the sink without your forearms trembling. You become the master of your own steps again. The fear of being a heavy burden, the terror of becoming a fragile object that must be moved and managed by others, that fear begins to quiet down. You realize that frailty is not an absolute destiny, but a biological process that can be interrupted. You do not have to surrender your autonomy just because the calendar pages keep turning. You have the power to fortify the house you live in. Protect your strength. Feed the armor that carries you. And never ever let them tell you that weakness is just a natural part of the ride.